How do you handle banned and restricted announcements, and how should Wizards of the Coast handle them as well? Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie, and I hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. Today, I want to have a conversation about the banned and restricted announcement from Magic the Gathering with the Mox Opal and the One Ring and all that kind of stuff, but mostly from a retailer perspective. I want to talk about how I handle banned cards. I want to also talk about how I think Wizards of the Coast is not doing things very well and very healthily. And so let's get into it. Do you guys remember back when we got Festival in the Box with Mystery Booster 2, they gave us a collector pack of Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, I can pull a Mana Crypt, and they gave us a collector pack of Commander Masters, and like, oh man, one pack, maybe I'll hit the Jeweled Lotus. And then just about the time everybody started receiving their Festival in a Box, is Box Eye Festival in a Box Eye? I don't know. Every time when people received them, all of a sudden they had a banned and restricted announcement, and they banned Jeweled Lotus, and they banned Dockside. I don't think that was in any of the packs, but they banned Mana Crypt, and the two biggest hits that you could have pulled from those packs that you got just purchased from Wizards of the Coast were now banned and useless in Commander. I remember being like, this is insane. Like the optics of it are absolutely mind-boggling, that they bait and switched us with those packs, and they completely, and then they also, I think, reprinted Doubling Season, which is a little bit different. It's a reprint. It's kind of what I expected. But here, we have the same kind of struggle with this banned and restricted announcement. It's kind of the inverse of that, but it's still a little bit sketchy. You know, they unbanned Mox Opal out of nowhere, like out of absolutely nowhere. They unbanned Mox Opal. Everybody kind of thought, you know, the One Ring would get banned. That's not that surprising. We'll get into that in a second, but they unbanned Mox Opal. And like, you know, they're gonna put it in a pack. You know, like they're going to put that reprint equity. The card's now $200. You know that they know where this card is down the line. Maybe it's an Aether Drift. I don't think it would be an Innistrad Remastered, but maybe it's, you know, in a set later on down the line. But you know that they know that this card will be reprinted in a special guest slot or something like that down the line. And yet they didn't tell us. And I feel like, first off, I love market volatility. I love the ups and downs of the market. I can't say that word. What am I, a content creator? What do you want from me? I love the ups and downs of the market. I make money when people buy cards and when things spike. I do very, very well. It's great content. It's great business for me. It's good. It's a good thing. We sold 3 Mox Opals instantly. I'm okay with selling them. I bought them at the price that they sold them. Like, I bought them based off the price they sold them. I'm not one of those retailers that's gonna cancel the order to make an extra 40 or 50 bucks. Like, it's so stupid. People who do that, first off, if you canceled Mox Opal orders because you wanted to resell it to make an extra 40 or 50 bucks, you're the worst type of person. Like, that's nuts. Like, we don't do that. We sell what we have, and it's sold. We paid based off of the price it was before, so we made our money, and some people got, I guess, a good deal. It's going to come crashing down when Wizards reprints it in a special guest slot in a couple weeks. But, you know, that's the way that it works. But Wizards could have avoided the chaos of these markets by simply saying Mox Opal is unbanned, and we'll also see a reprint in, you know, Q3 of 2024 or 2025, whatever it is. They could have added that little text that's like, hey, we are unbanning this, and also it's slated, if they know the set that it's going to be in, which I'm sure, you know, I would assume that they do. They are a huge company, right? If they know the set that's going to be in, hey, this will be reprinted in this set. To kind of prevent people from having this crazy reaction to now go buy, what is it, $175 Mox Opal. Are you serious? You really think Mox Opal is gonna hold out at $175? I don't think so. It's absolutely wild. So I wanted to say that. That's what I wanted to get off my chest first. I just feel like the communication on this stuff, you know, when they announce, it goes back to the first one I brought up, right? Where they're like, hey, everybody buy our cards, buy our packs, and then we're gonna ban the best cards of it right when we're receiving it. The optics and the communication from Wizards of the Coast can be a lot better. And just because they haven't done that in the past doesn't mean that they can't get better at doing it in the future to make the ecosystem less upsetting for the consumer. Because there's going to be a lot of feel bads when you receive your $175 Mox Opal next week and then it's announced in another set down the line. And it's just bad optics, and I don't like it. But now I want to pivot this conversation to like, what do you do as a retailer, as a business who does a lot of singles? You know, we buy singles all the time. You mad about the Mox Opal? Bring back in the One Ring ban. Hit me up, KitchenTableTCG@gmail.com. We will buy your collection. We do it all the time. But what do we do with banned cards? We buy cards. Like every time, you know, One Ring gets banned, we'll have 5 people coming into the store this week and be like, hey, guys, sell me my One Rings. Nobody else takes them. Nobody else in the area is going to take them. We will buy all of your One Rings. We find the market price that's currently going on right now. We list those cards today, and then hopefully they sell them, hopefully they don't. I think like the thing is that Commander has really saved the tragic downfall of cards when they get banned from Modern. The amount of people who play Modern compared to like the amount, so the One Ring, right? The amount of One Rings in Modern decks compared to like the amount of One Rings that can go in Commander decks. Like it's just not, you're gonna have an influx of cards all of a sudden, but over time, those cards are gonna get picked up by Commander players. They're fine. And I think personally that doing that business is valuable to the consumer. So that person who has the One Rings and now they don't want them anymore, what we provide is a service for them, and it's a valuable service. And maybe we won't make as much money off of the One Ring, but that relationship with that customer, because we bought their One Ring, because we bought their playset of One Rings the day it got banned, they're going to come back to us for their next trade-ins and for their next trade-ins and for their next cards they want to buy for that sealed product. They're going to come to us for pre-release. And so that relationship, I think, is really important. And so, you know, at the end of the day, we're going to make money off the card regardless with our buy rates and that kind of stuff. So to build into that relationship, I think is really important. Then I want to go back to like the canceling of orders thing. It baffles me that this is the environment that we are in Magic the Gathering. That you can sell a card for I mean, the Mox Opals we sold, I think on average, I think we had them listed at like $88, $88, $89. So we sold a $90 card. As a business, that's great. And, you know, fees and shipping and whatever, if you sell that card at $150, $160, like kind of on the way up, if you time it right, you're never going to time the top of the market. You're gonna make an extra like 30 to 40 bucks. And I'm seeing all over the place, people canceling orders for these Mox Opals. And it's like, guys, like it's not a reserve list card. We all know it's gonna get reprinted. So the window of time of which you have to cancel that order to get, I know it's a day or two, right? But the window of time between now and when that card crashes is just not very high. The risk isn't worth it. And the negativity, getting the negative review, having people bash you on social, it's just not worth that reputation of canceling the orders. So we don't touch any of that. Listen, when we sell something, it's sold. Sometimes I regret it. I think there's seller remorse. Like look at Lord of the Rings Special Collector Edition, right? There's seller remorse for sure. But like, you know, like at the end of the day, that's part of the business. And then finally, I wanted to talk about the One Ring as we get into Special Collector Edition. You already saw a little bit of a downtick on Special Collector Edition with the One Ring ban. I think that the One Ring is going to rebound pretty well. That card is so good in Commander. It is basically an auto include. You can put that card in essentially any, you know, whatever deck. And I think that what you're going to see is the desirability of Wizards to reprint that and the work that they need to do to reprint that. I know they said that they can just put a different, you know, whatever on it, and they will, and eventually it will get reprinted. But the timeline of which they need to do that now is shorter. It's banned from Modern. It's not, you don't have that kind of attitude of like, the cards are too expensive and that kind of thing. Now that it's dropped in price, I don't think it's going to see that kind of level of reprint that it would have seen had it been continually to stay into Modern. So that's going to be really interesting. I do think these cards are going to get scooped up pretty quickly. I don't anticipate that it will have a significant impact on Lord of the Rings. You know, you still have the serialized cards in the Lord of the Rings. That's really what's driving the value of the high-end Lord of the Rings stuff. The $40, $50 cards missing will hurt set boxes. The One Ring card, you know, being banned, that will hurt set box sales a little bit in the interim. But long term, the One Ring is gonna rebound until they do inevitably, you know, reprint it, because obviously it's not reserve list. So those are my thoughts on the banned and restricted announcement. Man, wild. Let me know what you think about the Wizard of the Coast thing. Should they have kind of told people, hey, this is when we plan on reprinting this? I just feel like communication has gotten a lot better since 1994, and you know, when banned and restricted things come out, they could tell you, hey, this is when we plan on reprinting this card. It's expensive, we know that. Yeah, hope you have yourself a fantastic day. Be kind to the people around you. We'll see you again next video.